What if Germany united almost 430 years earlier? Without the shackles of HRE politics, can Germany thrive in EU4? Let's find that out in today's video. With the changes made to governing capacity in the 1.30 patch alongside the Emperor DLC, being too big of a nation in the early game can actually be a death sentence, so I'm not sure what to expect. This video is sponsored by the wonderful people who support the channel via Patreon. For as little as $5 a month, you can get early access to every single video that comes out on this channel, and other tiers will get access to exclusive Discord roles and chat rooms, monthly live streams, and more. Check it out and consider supporting, link in the description. Again, even though I say this in basically every video, I cannot get the borders perfect. It's just not the way that the EU4 map is set up. Of course, I gave them the Prussian Monarchy, had to make it a little more interesting. But even with these 3 privileges to the estates, they're still absolutely crushed by their governing capacity. And keep in mind, they have one state. If there's anything that's going to hold them back, it's going to be that. And of course, natives have been removed because they're annoying and they contribute nothing to the game. Less than 20 years in, and doesn't look like Germany is actually doing very good at all. They've lost quite a few provinces just randomly spread throughout their realm, notably over here in Silesia as well as Switzerland. And they're currently defending in 3 separate wars, so it looks like they're getting dogpiled pretty bad. They also have no armies, no manpower, and no money, so it doesn't look like Germany is going to make it very long. Oh, look what they did to the boy. Germany is a shell of what it once was. Poland has kicked them out of Prussia. Denmark has kicked them out of Denmark, and it looks like a bunch of smaller tags are being released, probably in peace deals if I had to guess, or by rebels. Right now it's just peasants, but they've definitely been having a lot of rebel issues the entire time, every time I've checked at least. I don't know, guys, what do you think? If we were to run this again, should I give them a modifier that gives them some governing capacity or what? Because I think that's honestly the issue. They still have their militarization stacked up, and they're still just getting clapped in every single war. Ooh, and I'm sure it doesn't help that they're bankrupt. Yeah, that definitely is not going to help. But you know what would help? If you left a like on this video and if you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this in the future. I would also appreciate if you left a comment down below with a suggestion of what sort of video you'd like to see from me next. And in 1520, this is all that's left of our little Germany. Sadly, he got gobbled up by basically every single person around him, and barring any major miracles, I don't think they're coming back. We do, however, have a strong France who decided they didn't want Brittany, but instead they wanted a bunch of land in northern Iberia. Ottomans are absolutely having a game, doing whatever they want to whoever they want. No surprise there. And something I feel like I've seen quite a few times this patch, the Timurids kept their subjects loyal and integrated them. And I do think that Ming is not as predictable as it used to be. It used to be they would either collapse every single game or they would be super strong every single game. Seems about 50-50 in my experience at least. This Ming popping off, doing quite well, actually conquering quite a bit of land outside of China proper. The Colonial game isn't quite much to write home about just yet. Portugal and England in South America, and a little bit of Castile in Mexico as well as the Caribbean. As of right now, just a couple of people in Western Africa and nobody in South Africa yet. And despite a strong early game, it looks like Ming, not long for this world, well at least not in this form. They are in the process of getting ganged up on by Bengal in the south and a big beefy Russia in the north, with Russia rocking over 100,000 infantry. The mandate is going down, and if it dips below 50, they might not be having a good time in the war. It'd be in their best interest to peace out sooner rather than later, and we all know that the AI does not peace out sooner. Germany is a measly 7 provinces here in Germany, a shell of what it once was. But that doesn't mean that it's down for the count. The fact that they're small now means that they're going to be gaining militarization. They're still an elector in the HRE, and it's only a matter of time before the League War pops off, and Germany could possibly get themselves in a good situation through that. That would be the ultimate twist, is like Germany gets clapped early on and then turns around and becomes useful somehow in the HRE. And as I said, some games they thrive, some games they crash and burn. Ming definitely crashed and burned. Looks like they couldn't handle Bengal and Russia ganging up on them like that. As far as the HRE goes, we do indeed have Protestant as the dominant faith. And when you're looking at the HRE map mode, you're going to notice there's only a couple of OPMs that are the electors, Germany being one of them. I don't know what's going on with them. They have minus 87 prestige for some reason. They're only allied to a couple of minors, so it's just one more and they might get annexed. Castile never formed Spain. Looks like Aragon broke free from them. In the New World, as I said before, Portugal and England in South America, but it looks like they're starting to fill in the west coast over here. Mexico and Louisiana are also getting some more colonies. And along the east coast here, you got 13 colonies as well as a French Florida. And up here, we've got Nova Hollandia as well as French Canada. It's only a matter of time before we get some funny speaking French people over here. And as it happened before, Chichimeca migrated up and they're actually in the Great Lakes region now. Hey, Scotland, what you doing there, buddy? Camping out on the Isle of Man, his capital over here, embracing the Manx culture. The superior British Islander culture, in my opinion. Germany, though, on a bit of a rampage, quite a bit of conquest since the last time we looked, and it hasn't even been that long, so I don't really know what triggered in their mind, but the AI decided to wake up and actually, do something. France is absolutely massive with over 300,000 troops. Still nothing compared to the Ottomans' 371,000. But don't forget the Ruskies, 341. With a lot of manpower as well. Look at Ayutthaya over here, absolutely gobbling up southern China. It might just be me, but I feel like I haven't seen a whole lot of people really going into China. Usually what I've seen is Bengal going into China, and that's about it. But in the last video we did, we basically saw the Mughals and Manchu split China in half, which is pretty cool. The borders were actually pretty good as well. If the AI is going to make good borders, who would I be to argue? And we now have a Swedish Scandinavia. And a little bit of deja vu, Germany is once again a one-province minor, this time in central Germany rather than up here in Altmark where it was before. France just going ham, blobbing out, doing whatever they want, having quite the game. Commonwealth looking very long and very skinny and above all else, very disgusting. Ottomans, absolutely massive, but a new challenger enters the arena, the Mughals. The AI is so good at forming them, and I love it. If Timmy does not collapse, they generally do form the Mughals, and I love that. As somebody who's gotten into modding EU4 in the last year or so, when the AI does what it's supposed to do, it is just so satisfying to see. South America is mostly finished, but the Dutch wanted to colonize South America, and they said, just the tip. The Dutch also just have Panama, and it looks like they were mostly kicked out of Canada, except for this one province right here, which for some reason is owned by Dutch Columbia. Outside of Florida and French Canada, the rest of North America is split between Portugal, Castile, and Britain. Though I do think it demands a special mention. Dutch Alaska. It's not something that you see very often, but it does have quite a ring to it, doesn't it? Australia, almost exclusively colonized by Castile. And over here in the Moluccas, we've got an Aragon colonizing. Right across the sea from these guys. I feel like I've seen this one before. I don't really know how it's going to go in this timeline. With a little less than 100 years left in the game, I think I might have seen this one before. I don't know how they managed this, but the Papal State is actually based out of Venice, with Rome under the occupation of a Catholic France. I have no idea how they managed that, but good for them. Russia has gobbled up the entirety of Manchuria, North China, and most of Korea even. And the Mughals have eaten a large chunk of India as well. As is tradition on this channel, Bengal absolutely massive, eating up most of Southeast Asia as well as about half of India as well. It looks like we've got some shenanigans going on in the New World. A bunch of colonial tags have broken free and are beating the tar out of each other. I think that's pretty realistic for how it is in the real world. South America tends to be just kind of like a battle royale. And in the end, things look pretty green, actually. The Ottomans control land all the way up to Nuremberg. The Commonwealth is no longer a skinny little twig boy and actually controls quite a bit of land all the way up to central Germany as well. Russia is currently defending in 2 wars against the Commonwealth as well as Bengal, with Bengal competing for the most ugly, disgusting revolutionary flag in the game. According to this, France is the birthplace of the revolution, but I don't see a center of revolution, so I'm curious if it got crushed in a war. I'm happy to let you guys know that Scotland exists over here in Man. Big beefy level 9 capital fort over here with the brave Scotsmen with their kilts on. Brazil took over the entirety of South America, which is pretty sweet. Just one little British Amazon enclave over here. North America looks pretty similar to what it did before, but sadly the Portuguese kicked the Dutch out of Alaska. Shaking my head. For some reason we have a couple of Mughals provinces over here in Cascadia as well. I don't know how they got there, but they are there. In terms of great powers, we got France in the #1 slot, very closely followed by the Ottomans. France is the economic hegemon though, so they've got that extra bit of edge. Revolutionary Bengal is #3, followed by Brazil, Castile, Mughals, Russia, and the Commonwealth. The empire is 1 member state, Helra, voting for themselves as the only elector within the HRE. Look how sad that looks, man. That is too funny. I actually love that a lot. They're also one of the only Protestant provinces in the entire world, which is pretty funny as well. Catholic and Anglican rule the rest of Europe, as well as Orthodox over here. All of Russia's Orthodox, and they've even converted China as well as Korea, which is pretty sweet. The New World is almost exclusively Catholic, with a little bit of Mayan and Nahuatl over here, and some Anglican as well. So yeah, Germany didn't fare too well. Like I said earlier, if we're going to redo this, we're probably going to have to change some stuff. So let me know what you guys think would be a good change, and I'll go ahead and take a look at that. If you have a suggestion for a video you think would do well on the channel, make sure you leave it in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please do make sure you like the video and subscribe for more content like this, because there's plenty more to come. My goal right now is 2 videos per week, and I'm hoping to stick to that. If you're looking for a cool community, you can join my Discord. It's going to be linked in the description, as well as my subreddit. You can also follow me on my Twitter. And if you want early access to every video that comes out on this channel for $5 a month on my Patreon, you will get just that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and until next time, stay chill.